Hey guys, it's Mark with Precision Computing back with another video log for the Tower 900 arcade build. Tower 900 is not in there, it's out in my office. I'm trying to do a little planning, but I don't have the hardware yet. Some of the components from Thermaltake just showed up. Not this guy. Some of the water cooling stuff. Some fancy ring plus fans. Dude, I can't wait to get these mounted in here. Dude, I'm gonna do some really cool stuff with these. They're not just gonna be cooling the Tower 900, which is gonna be down here. I have some other ideas, so you're gonna have to wait to find out. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight into what I'm going to do with the overall build. So if you haven't figured out by now, by all of my hints and glimpses and things like that, yes, it's going to be Mario themed. Yes, I'm going to be using some plumbing pipe, because Mario and Luigi are plumbers, if you didn't know that, inside the Tower 900 to give the Tower 900 a very Mario theme. And there's going to be some holes in the back so that I can actually put these around the reservoir, pump combos, and I can have the tubing run out through the back to go into the back of the Tower 900. And then, you know, there's going to be one that Mario is going to stand on. A little bit more detail that I'll get into later. You'll have to stay tuned for that. I did go ahead and buy some of these figures that the arms are actually movable and the heads. They're just like plastic, so you know, if I had a 3D printer, I probably could have printed them. Same difference. They weren't expensive, maybe $6 for this little guy, and he's about 4.5 inches tall, which fits exactly what I wanted for this mod. And you know, it's just kind of like a little prop, just to give the overall final appeal. Here's a little question mark block with a little mushroom popping out of the top. I do have some more. I'm not going to reveal everything at this point and exactly what I'm doing with it, but just some of the ideas that I'm going to be incorporating into this mod. Again, I'm not just building this arcade machine. Okay, the Tower 900 is going to be Mario, Super Mario themed, Nintendo Super Mario themed, inside the cabinet down here. And then of course we have the whole cabinet machine. Now of course we can see here, this is our Nintendo action pad. Joystick. The joystick actually has two controllers, so you can change the top from the ball to a little elongated joystick top. You have your A button and B button, turbo, on and off. You can control the turbo speeds, A plus B, slow start and select over on the side. So I'm going to have two of these integrated into this panel. I'm not sure if I'm going to recess them a little bit, or just mount them like this, or recess them 100%. I haven't totally figured that out yet. This panel is just a mock-up too, because it's actually going to come around the outside here to make it a little bit wider where this panel sits, and finish off the edge of the arcade machine here. So we have that. Of course, there's going to be holes drilled where the wiring is going to come down underneath into where the classic Nintendo machine is going to sit inside. I do have the speakers already mounted in here. Some of you may have seen the little short video I posted, just kind of testing the sound, how it sounded. And the subwoofer is going to be in the cabinet here. So it's fully adjustable. All the wires will be tucked inside that area. From that point, I have this pine here. I didn't use a router bit. Instead, I just used my palm sander and rounded this edge. And then I'm going to come back by hand and sand it. I didn't want to use a router. I didn't want it to look so machined. I wanted it to look more organic. You know, something that was handcrafted. You know, a lot of people can build a lot of things, but it takes a lot more skill to handcraft things and to do it precisely. I have these little buttons here that all of my holes for my screws are countersunk. And then this little button, let's see if I can get you guys a good shot of it here. It's a little wood button. Whoops. There it goes. And that little wood button fits right into my countersink hole here. Okay, and we just kind of tap it in. And in all reality, of course, you can see the button there. Bring it in closer. You can see the button, but when it's stained, you won't really see it. You'll just kind of see that, you know, it's a little bit raised there. But the funny thing is about this, it's also like a little tiny mushroom. Right? How cool is that? So I always choose things when I'm working on a project that are kind of cohesive, where just from the smallest detail like that to the final big picture, everything matches together. The case is on wheels. I did have somebody commenting about being able to lock it in place. And what I did was the rear two wheels, which I kind of already commented on this, but I'll show you guys again. You can see the locking tab there. So the rear two wheels can actually be locked fully in place. And so that the cabinet won't move around as much. Well, when you don't want it to. To have them stick out of the back of the cabinet, it does create a little bit of an issue moving the cabinet as easily as I would have liked, because those tabs swivel around and they hit. But you can come to a point and you can maneuver it however you want. It's still fairly simple. The Asus monitor that's mounted in here, it's nothing extremely fancy. It's just a 24-inch 1080p monitor. But how I have it there, you know, see I move this, let me make sure I get this in the right position for you guys. There's actually going to be another piece of pine, which is this piece. And now because I'm using pine, this thing's actually not extremely heavy, it's actually pretty lightweight. Now this piece of pine is going to run up the cabinet and sit behind here, come down and sit back behind here, and then this, which is not the piece the controllers will mount to, but it's just kind of a supplement to give you the idea how nice it is standing here, how you can reach the buttons really easy and see the screen really easy. Well, this piece will run here and then behind here. This will mesh up to it, and then I'm going to cut out so that you can see the monitor through it. There's going to be some more intricate work being done. I have the speaker set up so that I have two 3.5 millimeter jacks, so that I can plug one into the back of the monitor. The monitor is going to be powered by HDMI. The HDMI is going to go to the mini NES, and then this is going to plug into the back of the monitor. So that's how we're going to bring the sound into the speaker system, which will have our remote volume mounted somewhere so that people can adjust the volume. But that's how we'll have the sound simultaneous for the NES and for the computer down beneath. All run off one set of speakers, just with a splitter. And it's a fairly long splitter because I got to run from inside back here, down there, and up to the monitor. So a lot of configuration has gone into this, figuring out what I'm going to run where and where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to make everything work together, being that I'm not just running an emulator. I wanted to run an emulator because then I could have run everything off the PC. But this is a mod competition, and I wanted to go one step past that. I wanted to integrate the official Nintendo stuff, the official Nintendo, the classic mini NES system. I wanted to integrate the official Nintendo style joystick and controllers, being that it's Nintendo themed, and not use just assembled joysticks and controllers, so that I could really pay homage to where my gaming journey began. I did have some Atari gaming very early on with ET and games that don't even make sense. But it was really Mario and Nintendo that got me into gaming in general, and then it's just evolved since then. So I wanted to make this cabinet out of wood and make it organic so that everything feels nice and smooth. I'm not doing your typical arcade cabinet where it's black because I wanted it to be stained, but I am going to do some cool stuff down the sides of the cabinet too. And there's still so much that I don't want to reveal yet until I can get a little bit more together here and give you guys a better glimpse into what I'm really doing. But this kind of gives you an idea of how I'm going to have the controllers set up. And it's really cool. I've already, at least spent 2 hours. It's about all the spare time I had playing this NES Mini. These controllers work great. They have a 9-foot cord, which is more than I need for here. But it's so cool. All this little stuff. I mean, who doesn't love Nintendo? Who wouldn't want to walk into their man cave or their garage or their office or even in your front room, because it's going to be really nice, and have your own arcade machine. So that's the reason I'm using pine and not just using like a particle board and painting it black. I want it to be really nice, or doing like a laminate black finish. I want it to be stained. I want it to be a little bit above and beyond, so that it's it's really pristine when it's finished, and it just has a look like, yeah, it's gonna look like an arcade machine, but it's gonna go so far beyond that that it's gonna be really, really cool. So I have the Asus monitor already mounted. You guys kind of get an idea of how I'm going to do my 2 controllers here. There will be plenty of space when I have these separated for 2 people to stand side to side and be able to play. The monitor, the 24-inch monitor, is going to be plenty big enough for people to be able to see that. I got some little stuff that I'm going to integrate just to bring the theme all together on top of what I'm going to be doing with the water cooling and everything else down inside the Tower 900 and the modifications I'm going to do to that. So, I think I've kind of gone over everything that I wanted to here. Hopefully you guys saw the video, that you could hear how good these speakers sounded. It's a little Logitech, the box is around here somewhere. Little Logitech Z333 system. It's like 80 watts. And the reason that I bought it is, you can see on the picture here, it has this raised circular speakers, so that I could cut those holes out and they would sink down into the wood and then sit nice and flush. So they actually sit up in the cabinet really nice. I still have to, do some final sanding in these holes and things like that, and then there's going to be metal brackets that hold them in place, but they already sit really nice. Being in the wood cabinet, the sound sounds awesome. So the back is going to have an access door, so you can get to like the subwoofer and adjust things inside there. So you can get to a little mini Nintendo. I'm going to have a power strip so that everything that needs power plugs into that one power source. And then I'm going to make a power button that kind of turns everything all on at the same time. At least that's the plan at this point. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to make it work that way or not, but that's where I'm headed. So we'll stay tuned to see how that turns out. These Ring Plus fans are going to be super cool. We're definitely going to work these in to the mod itself down beneath, and then into the cabinet also. So that's where I'm at right now. This should be vlog number 3. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following. You guys have already given a lot of support across the forums. I had this posted on BitTech, Extreme Systems, Overclockaholics, my old school guys there, overclock.net. A lot of these forums, I've been a member since 2008 and before that. So I've gone back to a lot of the old forum systems that I used to post on, and you guys have been really receptive. So I really want to tell you thank you for that. It's going to be really cool. I like how it's turning out so far, and hopefully you guys will like it when it's all finished. Please stay tuned. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. Everything's going to be in the links down below with the subscribe button. If you hate it, you think it's stupid, go ahead. If you think it's awesome, give it a like. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody commenting and liking and giving me suggestions and things like that already. That's why we do these projects, is to help the community grow, help to build one step further, help to take it to the next level, and to do something original. The Tower 900 is such a cool case that I didn't want to hack it up. I really didn't want to tear it apart, break it down, and make it look like something it's not. It's so cool with the tempered glass, the size and everything else, so this is going to pay homage to that, and yet I'm still going to get to modify it, and I still got to build something really cool around it, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. So hopefully you guys feel the same. Thanks for tuning into this video, and we'll catch you next time. Mod on.